I'm sure a lot of you haven't read much about Blizzard aside what's going on in terms of their legal situation, but there is a little tidbit of information on what's going on in terms of Diablo 4, and that's that they've promised that there's going to be over 150 handcrafted and procedurally generated dungeons. Now, when I read more into this, it was actually handcrafted and yet procedurally generated dungeons. So Brian Fletcher basically explained what this meant. In previous Diablo titles, we had randomized dungeons, but due to the way that the art was designed, there was a limitation on just how random they could be. And if you've played Diablo 3 for long enough, you'll probably begin to recognize the same sort of maps, the same stylism, and there just wasn't that much variety between them. That is all going to change in Diablo 4 because they've basically made tons and tons of tile sets that you can use and pair together, essentially making a whole Lego box of dungeon bits that you can glue together and make something quite unique. They've also put in something called a tile set transition, which basically means that you can go from one tile set to the other. How that looks and feels, I think we'll get a better grasp of once we've seen the full product come out. But I'm presuming that you'll go from, say, one icy landscape and then you can run into a desert landscape, seamlessly, and it'll just feel like you're running through one giant area. Now, what Fletcher actually said is dungeons are still that randomized content that you know and love from previous Diablo titles. However, we added new and exciting features that allow us to make even more dungeons across the world of Sanctuary than ever before. In order to support over 150 plus dungeons, we've had to shift the way that we make environment art so that it's flexible enough to be used in multiple locations and not in a single dungeon. We break it all down into what we call tile sets. How this all comes together, we'll have to wait and see, and how many different tile sets as well. It's all very, very exciting. I expect them to be mapped around the 5 zones that are in Diablo 4. If you don't know, Diablo 4 has a brand new open world map that you can go on, so it's a little bit different from what we've seen previously, but sounds very, very exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it unfolds. Anyway, that's all we have in terms of Diablo 4 updates for now. When I know more, I'll give you some updates, but until then, have a great week everyone, and I'll be back with more news and reviews soon.